In today's video, I'm going to be doing an end-to-end list building workflow specifically for funded B2B SaaS businesses. Now, when I talk to business owners who want to get started in Clay, many times they think you need to build a list outside of the platform, bring it into Clay, and then actually manipulate and scrub your data in there. The reality is Clay can be used to do an end-to-end workflow. So in this video, I'm going to show you the step-by-step to go from case study, lookalike, to end targeted list so you can go and do outreach to your ideal client. So in this video, I'm going to build you an entire list of quality leads inside of Clay. We're going to be doing some targeting, some lead scoring, and then ultimately finding good fit prospects without any manual work, without using a VA to verify and scrub this list, or using any technical coding skills. Now, I'm going to talk about the plan first, and then we'll dive into it. So the first thing that we're going to do here is just select a company via Crunchbase, and that's going to be funded, ideally, in the last, call it 6 months. We'll use their case studies as a lookalike audience to build a good fit list of accounts. From there, we will then score the list based on the company's ideal fit criteria, and then we'll actually find relevant contacts at those companies. And finally, we will enrich contact data with emails from Waterfall data source. So let's dig into it. So I did a quick search here on Crunchbase. I filtered by US location of headquarters, and then I just tagged SaaS. And my employee count is between 11 and 250. So we have this list of companies here. So just kind of looking around to see something that could potentially be relevant. We have B2B, construction procurement. I found a company here called Klazar. So they raised a Series A of 10 million bucks in April. So they're IT, SaaS software. So this looks like a pretty good fit. So we can click into this company here and just get a little bit of data on them. So they were invested in by Ridge Ventures, Ensemble VC, DST Global. And again, they got 10 million bucks Series A. So this is a good sign because this means that they're obviously trying to grow and scale their business. So you can see some recent news here. To zoom in a little bit to show you what's going on here. So basically they're raising Series A to modernize SaaS across cloud marketplaces. So based on this, they are enabling SaaS companies to get sold on cloud marketplaces. So let's click into the actual platform. So this is what their homepage looks like. So list, manage, and co-sell with minimal engineering effort. Looks like it's on AWS, Azure. I'm going to open up their LinkedIn because we're going to use LinkedIn profiles for Locks Digital. All right, cool. So they have some good case studies. And we can see here they do listings, they co-sell, private offers, buyers on these marketplaces. So obviously this is a good value proposition because they're going to be allowing businesses to basically get more customers. And I think they are trying to reduce the overall expenses that these companies have to pay to the platforms. So make more money, save on expenses. So obviously those are high quality value props. So this is taking a little bit to load, but let's see. All right, so Klazar, list, transact, co-sell on cloud marketplaces with minimal engineering effort. So this is the cloud go-to-market co-pilot for businesses of all sizes. You can go from setting up to driving revenue via cloud marketplaces within weeks, manage your cloud channel in one place, and run co-sell directly from Salesforce and HubSpot without being taxed on the revenue generated. Organizations like SecureFlame, Apollo Graph, CloudZero, Linux, Monte Carlo, Tabular, Imply use Klazar to sell more on cloud marketplaces faster. All right, cool. So this is some good stuff so far. So I'm going to just take some notes based on what we've done so far. So our target company here is going to be Klazar. So what do? They help increase sales pipeline. For the main marketplaces. So that's all good. And now let's take a look at some of their case studies to see more about who they work for and basically how they get the good results. So we can see here we have a couple good case studies. Facets.cloud partners with Klazar to launch and scale their cloud go-to-market motion. Deep industry experience to expand in the AWS marketplace to drive and scale marketplace growth. So let's take a look at this first case study. So they are standardizing DevOps workflows. So this is a developer tool. But again, the goal here is to get on top of AWS, GCP, and Azure. And so we're seeing here that they have a CEO who is their target customer. So I'm going to just include some of this data here. So like persona, CEO. And we can facets.cloud. We can take a look at this. And then I'm going to open up Apollo here and just throw their domains into Apollo so we can just get a sense for what this company looks like in terms of what industry, the employee size, some of the other keywords, just to get a good sense for that. All right, so we have facets.cloud. Let's look at the AMNIC. So the co-founder. All right, so this is an observability platform. Let's just check their last case study. Momento. All right, so we have the three companies here. We want to get a good sense for their employee size. So this is going to be 50 employees max. So that's in line with targeting CEO founder level. So these are IT companies, DevOps, IT infrastructure, serverless, cloud. So they're targeting cloud businesses. Okay, so far we have a couple solid case studies. We know that they are generally going to be in the cloud. So we have these three case studies. We can now use their lookalike audience to build a good fit list of accounts. So the thing here is like our persona. Again, it's going to be CEO, founder at 50-person company. So that's like important to note because as you get further up the tech stack, you're likely going to be closing different types of personas. Usually if it's a 50-person or less company, the C level or like the VP level is going to be where you want to at least start your targeting. And then you can work down to director and manager as needed, but all else equal, you want to just hit the top dogs first to get that most effective outreach off the bat. Okay, so now I'm in Clay. We're going to build a new table. So we have find companies. So we'll click into that. It's So there's a bunch of ways you can do this. You can just sort by companies, but in this case, we're going to use the lookalike function. So we're going to take the 3 domains that we have here and enter them in. Okay, great. So now we have 3 companies. We can even go a little bit deeper and select companies that will only be in these categories, but in some cases, a company that might be under the software development umbrella might actually not be in software development, or vice versa, because this data is typically going to be provided by representatives of the companies. So if they self-select as an advertising business, but they're actually like an advertising technology business, that's going to be in completely different categories. So there's a lot of ways you can go around that. In this case, we're just going to go with the lookalikes, and then we'll do some lead scoring later to figure out what's a good fit or what's not. We want to only target US companies, and I don't want to limit that. We're going to go preview. All right, cool. So we have over 10,000 potential results here, but in this case, we're just going to import 5,000. So import to a new table. So we'll just continue for free. All right, so now we have a pretty good list. We can see our imported companies, their name, their company descriptions directly from LinkedIn, their primary industry, however many employees they have, type of business, their location, their country. And if you scroll this way, you can see their domain and their LinkedIn company URL. So these are all important data points, and you can use this for AI research. My favorite is going to be the LinkedIn description that's provided. This is going to be super useful in terms of doing any sort of AI research. So what you'll want to do is basically prompt any of your ChatGPT, like 4.0 mini prompts. You want to do Claygen, you can use this description to pretty much find anything you need to know about the company. LinkedIn description is very, very useful. So now we'll want to score this list. All right, so let's look into these to just first see if these are good fits. But just based on a lot of this, cloud communications provider, something to do with cloud platform, cost savings. This is a consulting company, Salesforce implementation. So like not a SaaS business. This one, OneCare, a cloud-based software platform. So like you can see this lookalike list is not bulletproof off the bat, but it'll get you a pretty good sample size of varying quality and fit. So the easiest way to just go about this is first you want to just break out anybody who's not going to be a good size fit. Okay, so in this case, there's a couple ways to go about it to filter out for your companies. You can do it by filtering and then selecting size, and then you can select whichever option is most relevant. That's one way to go about it, or you can include this in your prompt to actually score the list. So I'm going to just do it that way. So I'm going to add a new enrichment. And this is how we're going to score the list. So select ChatGPT, generate text. So for the model, you'll want to do 4.0 mini. This was released in the last couple of weeks, and it is about 90% cheaper than what it was previously, and it's super fast and it works really well. So if you're not using this, you're completely missing out. So just a little thought there. So I have this saved down for B2B lead gen, but I'm going to just manipulate this. Okay, so I've put together this prompt for the lead scoring. So I'm going to just read it out. So consider the inputs. The inputs will be a summary of the company's ideal customer profile, and then I will give you information about a company they are thinking about reaching out to. Rate the company that they are reaching rate the company that they are about to reach out to on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the company is not a fit and they should not reach out to the company at all, 10 is a perfect fit and they should reach out to the company. This is information about our company and who we sell to. So this is just something I took from their website and just repurposed it. So we are a cloud platform setting out to democratize cloud GTM access for software businesses by automating the opportunity to cash lifecycle for every deal. Today, Closar enables some of the most powerful and growing SaaS businesses to list, transact, and co-sell through cloud marketplaces with minimal engineering and zero operational effort. Our ideal fit customer is a SaaS business who wants to list on AWS or Azure to sell more customers. They are typically between 20 and 100 employees. Think about this information carefully and think about what other companies we can help that might be adjacent to these industries. This is the information about the company we were reaching out to, and then include the description, and then this is their company headcount, and then include the size. Think slowly about what rating you would give this company on a scale of 1 to 10. Only output a number between 1 and 10 and nothing else. Give your reasoning right after the number in one sentence, and then give the company a low rating as well if they do similar things and they may be competitors. So what I'd suggest doing is try on 5 rows. All right, so it's giving us a couple 7s and 8 and a 4. So cloud ability, cloud sector, addressing financial accountability and cloud spend, which aligns the needs of many SaaS businesses, making them a strong potential partner. So that's pretty good. And let's look at 4. So while Squarehook operates in the cloud space and targets businesses managing cloud costs, they are significantly smaller than our ideal customer profile, and their focus on cost control may overlap with our offerings, suggesting potential competitive elements. Good points there, right? So with this, I like to think about it in terms of a range. So if you work your prompt to a point where you can get 80 to 85% accuracy with these ratings, then what you would do next is basically just enrich the companies that are scored well enough for you to reach out to. So instead of just it being binary yes or no, maybe you want to do some kind of a scale. So anything less than 5, you will remove. Anything greater than 5, it's a close enough fit that you want to actually do the outreach. So just based on this, I'm going to just say that it's correct. So I'll run 100 rows starting from row 10, run this enrichment, and then you can see concurrently like what the response is or how many tokens were used and what the total cost was. So if you're using your OpenAI API key, which I 100% recommend, this is how much it costs to run this specific enrichment. It is a absolute minor fraction of a cent. And before, it was cheap, and it's insanely cheap now. So again, I can't even emphasize enough how this makes doing any sort of AI research feasible for literally anybody at any budget. So just really take that home. So as you can see here, right, we have a pretty good list: 6s, 7s, 8s, and then some 4s. So the reason why you would want to get rid of those like really bad fits is because you're going to basically just have a more targeted list. And in having a more targeted list, the benefit there is you're able to actually do less outreach and get better responses overall. So if you have a more effective outreach, not only are you just going to get better results, but it's also going to help with your deliverability because your engagement metrics are going to be higher, which allows your domains to live longer, which allows you to spend less time, effort, and energy on managing your domain costs and setting up new ones. And if you can just have super targeted lists, your spam rates are going to be the lowest they can be, ultimately allowing you to just get into the inbox continuously over time. So I'm going to do a quick formula here to break out this digit here from the rest of the description. And the reason why we want to do that is so we can actually like use a singular column to filter and sort our data, right? So I'm going to do an AI formula. All right, so now you can see that this column will populate. So you can see we have our numbers here, which is great. As we can see here, we have solid results. And again, you probably want to manipulate that prompt for the lead scoring a little bit more, but in this case, it's just fine for this purpose because we're getting pretty close, right? If you're looking for 80% accuracy in terms of these lists, which I'd recommend because you never know if you can get referrals outside of the businesses, then this is going to get you 99% of the way there. So now we have these scored lists. We're going to find people who are explicitly related to this list. So select find people, and in this case, we're just going to use this clay table, and it looks like it hasn't pulled through for our title yet, but we'll just use this filtered view already. And so now we'll be looking for the titles. So we'll go founder, CEO, and since this is going to be like sales related software, so we'll go VP sales and then VP marketing just to hit our bases. So let's preview people. And again, this list is only like 100 people right now. This otherwise would have been 5,000 people or 5,000 companies, excuse me. So now we have the founder and the CEO at 74 of 100 companies. So that's pretty good, right? So let's import these to a new table and just do the basic enrichment. So now, once this loads, we basically now have a list of scored companies and the CEOs at these companies that are potentially a good fit, right? So we're already most of the way there. Some thoughts on this: you can use this LinkedIn profile to just do like manual prospecting and outreach. It's going to be really useful, especially if you're doing cold email, to hit people up on omnichannel. So if you have their phone numbers, you can call them. If you have their LinkedIn, connect with them. Absolutely, you should be connecting at a minimum and then doing like DM follow-ups as well. But let's just take a look at some of these people. So we have these companies that had pretty good scores. What we can even do is pull the data from this other table that we have. So the cool thing about Clay is it's not a static spreadsheet. It's like a data table. So this data can be pulled from a different table if it's associated with the other table, right? So we can actually pull into a new column like the rating of the company and use that as a way to sort and prioritize our scoring in our list. So let's add the rating as a column. You just hit create column, and here's our lead score. So we have everything scored out. So this will be important. So when we do the enrichments here, we basically can do a conditional format which will exclude any sort of enrichment below the proper lead score. So if we don't want to hit up anybody under 5, we won't waste credits on finding Maya at Chiefly. So the way that we're going to do this is add enrichment, and then there's some pretty cool waterfall enrichments that are like pre-built into this to find work emails. So I'm going to just show you how to use that because it's insanely easy. So once you click that, it automatically gives you this data waterfall, and then it gives you like how much the credits cost. So the way that I like to go about it is just always prioritize the lowest credit. I also have an API key for ICPs. Prospeo is really good. Drop contact, find email. These are all really great data tools. So what's effectively happening here is ICPs is going to look for this contact and try to validate it. If it doesn't find it, then it'll go to Prospeo. If it doesn't find it, then it'll go to drop contact. If it doesn't find it, it'll go to find email. If it doesn't find it, it'll go to data gamma, and then it'll go to Hunter. So you can see like it's going to be searching through quite a few different data sources. That's going to increase your ability to actually get the valid emails by 40, 50, 60%. So what you need to do for this is just map your fields, full name, and then the company domain. And then if you would like to use, call it like zero bounce, then you can do that too. And so the way that you want to actually go about this in this specific case is we only want to run if our lead score is above 5. So we'll just build an AI formula here, and we'll say only run column when, so if like lead score is greater than or equal to 5. So these will all run, which is correct. Let's see if we just update it to 6, and we'll see maybe this will go away. If that goes away, then we'll change it back and then we can say it's accurate. All right, cool. So yes. All right, output is correct. So then basically we'll just save and run on 10 rows for the sake of this demo. And you can see here we have it loading, but it'll queue up one tool. ICPs is a really good job of finding emails. Prospeo is also really good. So again, it found it here, so it's not going to run it on any of these tools. It didn't find it here, so it's going to run it through the other tools until it finds it, which is pretty cool. And literally it takes no time at all. And otherwise, if you're doing this before, you would either do this manually, you'd have to put it into ICPs, wait for it to load, pull it down, throw it into Prospeo, do the same thing, validate it intermittently, and it can take hours and hours and hours. So this is going to be a huge lift in terms of your workflow and being able to get this turned around much more quickly. So as you can see here, we found all 10 of these basically, which is cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game here. And we now have a list. So I'm going to stop the updates here and just confirm what we've done. So we started from company that we want to actually be targeting using our case studies. We then use those case studies to build a lookalike list. We then scored that list based on criteria. We then found the ideal fit personas at those good fit companies, and then we enriched them with emails all in less than 30 minutes. Now, this is the end-to-end workflow. Try this out yourself. Let me know how it goes. This is going to get you a lot of leverage in your outreach. It's going to cost less. It's going to be faster. And so if you're able to do less manual work, less admin, less dealing and managing with VAs, you can spend more time selling, spend more time actually closing deals. So if you want to learn how to actually build these yourself, or if you want us to help you build them yourself, you can find our link in the description below. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.